Journey to the West, Chapter 76, The Iron Immortal. Wukong was once again traveling west with the Tang monk.
Master,
Said Wukong.
while I was at Mount Podolatka, I thought a lot. I realize now that it's wrong to harm people. I won't ever do it again.
I'm glad, Wukong.
Said the Tang monk.
Can we please slow down?
Bajie moaned.
I'm tired and it's hot.
Wukong laughed.
Not much has changed since I left. Bajie still complains all the time.
Wu Jing wiped his brow.
It is hot. Maybe we should take a break.
Yes,
Said the Tang monk.
but I don't understand why it's so hot. It's not summer.
The travelers soon reached a village. An old man offered to take them in for the night. Later that evening, they were all eating dinner.
Is it always so hot here?
Asked Bajie. The man nodded.
The Mountain of Flames is near here. It's always burning.
Well, I'll be happy when we continue on our journey.
Said the pig.
Then we can get away from this heat.
Where are you going?
Asked the man.
We're going to the Western Paradise.
Said the Tang monk. The man frowned.
You can't travel west from here.
Everyone stopped eating and looked at the old man.
Why not?
Asked the Tang monk.
The Mountain of Flames is to the west.
Said the man.
It's impossible to pass.
We'll go around it.
Said the Tang monk. The old man shook his head.
All the land around the mountain is covered in flames. The land stretches far to the north and the south. It's impossible to go around.
Then we must wait for a strong rainstorm.
Said Bajie.
That will put out the flames.
No,
Said the man.
the flames are magical. There's just one spirit who can put them out.
Who?
Asked Wu Jing.
She's called the Iron Immortal.
Said the man.
She has a special fan that can put out the flames. It's made from a plantain leaf.
Wukong stood up.
Where does the Iron Immortal live? I'll demand that she put out the flames.
She won't listen to you.
Said the man.
She is very powerful.
Wukong folded his arms in front of his chest.
I am as powerful as a god. Just tell me where she lives.
The old man told Wukong where the Iron Immortal lived. The monkey leaped into the air. The man gasped.
He's a spirit.
Wukong was soon on the Iron Immortal's mountain. He found a cave door and knocked.
Open up!
He demanded. The door flew open and a tall woman appeared. She held a large fan.
Who are you?
She asked.
I am Sun Wukong. I need to borrow your fan.
Sun Wukong? Ugh,
Cried the Iron Immortal.
you are my worst enemy!
Wukong was confused.
I am? Why?
The Iron Immortal glared at the monkey.
My husband is the Bull Demon King, who used to be your friend. And our son is Red Boy. Because of you, Red Boy is a prisoner of the Bodhisattva Guan Yin.
Wukong laughed.
Red Boy isn't a prisoner. He is Guan Yin's student. He isn't evil anymore.
The Iron Immortal shrieked.
That's even worse!
Wukong sighed.
Can I please just borrow your fan for a little while?
No.
Said the woman.
Well then, can I speak with the Bull Demon King?
Asked the monkey.
He's at a banquet.
Said the Iron Immortal.
Now leave.
Wukong grew angry.
I'm not leaving until I borrow your...
Whoosh! The Iron Immortal waved the fan. A furious wind blew, and Wukong was gone. Journey to the West, Chapter 77, The Magic Fan. For over a day, the wind from the fan carried Wukong. When he finally landed, he was far from the Iron Immortal's mountain. Wukong looked around and saw a mountain nearby. It looked familiar.
Mount Sumeru!
Said Wukong.
The Bodhisattva Linji lives there. Maybe he can help me deal with the Iron Immortal. He was able to stop the Great King Yellow Wind's wind magic.
The monkey went to Lingji's pagoda. The Bodhisattva was sitting in his garden.
Greetings, Bodhisattva,
Said Wukong.
Hello, Wukong.
Said Lingji.
It's good to see you again. I was just about to have tea.
Wukong and Lingji sat outside drinking tea. The monkey told the Bodhisattva everything that had happened with the Iron Immortal. The Bodhisattva handed a small stone to Wukong.
Keep this magic stone in your pocket. It will stop the wind from blowing you away.
Thank you, Bodhisattva,
Said the monkey.
Would you like to stay for lunch?
Asked Lingji.
No, thank you.
Said Wukong.
I must get back to my companions. I need to get that fan from the Iron Immortal so we can continue west.
Wukong returned to the Iron Immortal's cave door.
Open up!
He shouted.
I need your fan!
The Iron Immortal came out and wrinkled her nose.
I thought I got rid of you.
She raised her fan.
I'll just have to wave harder this time.
The woman waved the fan furiously. A terrible wind blew past Wukong, but the monkey didn't move. The Iron Immortal's eyes burned with anger.
How did you?
The Bodhisattva Linji gave me a magic stone.
Said Wukong.
Your fan can't blow me away now.
The monkey pulled out his iron bar.
Now give me that fan!
The Iron Immortal shot back into her cave. Before she could shut the door, Wukong turned into a cricket. He quickly leaped into the cave. Silently, he followed the Iron Immortal along a tunnel. When the woman reached a room, she sat down. She tucked the fan into her robe.
Wukong is a horrible monkey.
She said to herself.
He forced my poor baby Red Boy to become good. Then he demanded to borrow my precious fan.
The Iron Immortal reached for a cup of water. As she took a drink, Wukong leaped into the cup. Gulp. Inside the Iron Immortal's stomach, Wukong changed back into himself. Boomph! Pow! Boomph! Pow! The monkey punched and kicked. The Iron Immortal fell to her knees.
What was in that water? I feel awful.
It was me!
Shouted Wukong.
I'm in your stomach now! And I won't stop punching and kicking until you give me that fan!
Boomph! Pow!
Please stop.
Cried the Iron Immortal.
You can have the fan. Just don't hurt me anymore.
Wukong leaped out through the woman's nose and returned to his normal size.
Give me the fan!
He demanded. The Iron Immortal climbed back to her feet. She reached into her robe and pulled out a fan.
Here, take it. Now leave.
Wukong found his companions in the village with the old man. The monkey explained how he'd tricked the Iron Immortal.
Wonderful.
said the Tang monk.
Now we can continue our journey.
They all thanked the old man and then headed west. They came to the top of a hill and saw the mountain of flames. Fire covered all the land around it,
Watch this.
said Wukong. The monkey waved the fan hard. Whoosh! A strong wind blew toward the mountain. Wukong smiled.
In a moment, we'll...
Suddenly, there was a roar as the flames grew bigger, filling the sky. Journey to the West, Chapter 78, Tricked Again and Again.
Oh no!
Wukong looked at the fan.
This fan doesn't work! The Iron Immortal must have tricked me!
The travelers backed away as the fire burned hotter,
What will we do?
asked the Tang monk.
We can't go through that fire.
Bajie threw his hands up.
Let's just go home. We'll write a letter to Buddha explaining what happened.
Bajie, we can't do that.
The Tang monk scolded. Wukong spoke up.
I used to be friends with the Iron Immortal's husband, the Bull Demon King. I have an idea.
The Iron Immortal was in her cave when she heard a knock.
Oh no!
She said to herself.
That monkey is back!
She walked quietly to the door and peeked outside. When she saw the Bull Demon King, she smiled and opened the door,
I'm glad you're back.
said the Iron Immortal.
Sun Wukong was here.
I used to be friends with him.
The demon smiled.
It would have been nice to see him again.
His wife was confused.
What do you mean? You told me that you never really liked him.
Oh, really?
Said the demon.
He was very rude.
Said the woman.
He demanded I let him borrow my fan.
You didn't give it to him, did you?
Asked the demon.
Of course not.
Said his wife.
I gave him a fake fan that looks just like the real one.
The demon began pacing.
Wukong is very smart and very powerful.
He said.
He'll realize you tricked him, and then he'll come back here.
What should we do?
Asked the Iron Immortal.
Give me the fan.
Said the demon.
I'll keep it safe.
The Iron Immortal opened a chest and took out the fan. She handed it to her husband. Suddenly, light sparkled and Wukong stood in front of her.
I tricked you!
The monkey laughed and ran out of the cave. The Iron Immortal stamped her foot. She was still angry when her husband came home,
Hello, dear.
said the Bull Demon King with a big smile. But then his smile faded.
What's wrong?
Your friend Sun Wukong was here.
She snapped,
He's not my friend.
said the demon.
Even before he defeated Red Boy, I never really liked him.
Well, you'll like him even less now.
Said the Iron Immortal.
He stole my fan!
The demon looked surprised.
That fan's wind magic is powerful. How did the monkey steal it?
He tricked me into giving it to him.
Said his wife.
He made himself look like you.
The demon's face turned red.
How dare he do that?
He took a deep breath.
Don't worry. I will find that rotten monkey. I'll get your fan back.
The Bull Demon King stomped out of the cave. Wukong walked along the road, carrying the plantain leaf fan. He was still laughing about how he'd tricked the Iron Immortal. Then he saw Bajie approaching.
Bajie,
Cried Wukong.
what are you doing here?
I was coming to help you.
Said the pig.
Thanks, but I don't need help.
Wukong held up the fan.
I tricked the Iron Immortal and got the real fan this time.
Good.
Said Bajie.
I can carry it for you.
Thanks.
Said Wukong as he handed the fan to Bajie. The monkey patted his friend on the shoulder.
Now let's get back to Master. We need to...
Suddenly, there was a flash of light. A second later, the Bull Demon King stood next to Wukong. The demon laughed.
I tricked you, Wukong.
There was another flash, and the demon was gone. Journey to the West, Chapter 79, The Mountain of Flames. Wukong was furious.
The Bull Demon King tricked me!
The monkey rushed back to the cave and smashed the door. Crash! The Bull Demon King ran outside.
You villain!
He shouted.
You destroyed my door!
Give me that fan right now,
Yelled Wukong.
or I'll destroy the rest of your mountain!
Never!
Said the demon. Wukong charged toward the demon. Poof! The demon turned into a crane and flew away,
He's not the only one who can turn into other animals.
thought the monkey. Wukong turned into a phoenix and shot after the crane. With his claws out, he swooped down at the crane. The crane dipped lower and Wukong missed. When Wukong looked back, the crane was gone,
Where did he go?
thought Wukong. He looked down and saw an antelope grazing in a field.
That's him!
Wukong landed and turned into a tiger. He crept through the tall grass. When he got close to the antelope, he leaped. Light flashed, and the antelope turned into a huge white bull. The bull flew up into the sky, and Wukong followed. He had almost caught up to the bull when he heard a shout.
Stand back, Wukong!
It was a soldier from heaven.
The Jade Emperor sent us to help you.
More soldiers rushed toward the bull. With a snort, the bull spun around and flew the other way. But the other soldiers appeared and blocked the bull's path. Wukong watched as soldiers surrounded the bull. They moved in closer, their swords and spears all pointed at the bull. The Bull Demon King returned to his demon form.
Please don't hurt me.
The Iron Immortal was rushing toward the soldiers.
Don't harm my husband!
She cried.
He didn't mean to be evil!
One soldier lowered his sword.
We won't harm you if you're truly sorry for being evil. But right now you're stopping the Tang monk from continuing his journey. Sun Wukong needs your fan.
The Iron Immortal handed the fan to the soldier.
Here's the fan.
She said.
We are truly sorry. My husband and I will be good Buddhists from now on. Just please, don't hurt us.
The soldier looked at the Bull Demon King. The demon nodded,
We promise.
Very well.
said the soldier.
You two may return to your cave. But you must stay out of trouble from now on.
The demon and his wife bowed and left. The soldier handed the fan to Wukong.
It's good that you'll be the one to put out the Mountain of Flames, Wukong.
Wukong was confused,
Why?
You're the one who caused the fire.
said the soldier.
It was when Laozi tried to burn you up in his pot. You leaped out of the pot, disturbing the fire in his workroom. A burning ember fell to earth that day and started the fire on the mountain.
Wukong looked at the fan.
I'll be happy to put out the fire.
Wukong returned to the village. The Tang monk and his companions were at the old man's house again. Once again, they thanked the man and followed the road up the hill. At the top, they looked at the mountain of flames. Wukong lifted the fan and waved it. Whoosh! Instantly, the fire went out. The air cooled down, and Wukong saw the valley start to turn green. Leaves grew on trees, and small flowers popped up here and there. Birds sang in the branches as other animals ran through the grass. Wukong smiled. He had done evil things a long time ago. Now he was fixing them. Journey to the West, Chapter 81, Help from a Dragon. Ba Zhe and Wu Jing swung their weapons at the demon. The demon laughed.
I'm much too powerful for you!
From inside the symbols, Wukong heard the fight. He heard grunts and the sounds of weapons clashing. The Tang monk cried.
No!
Then there was silence.
What happened out there?
Shouted Wukong. There was no answer. The monkey punched and kicked the inside of the symbols for hours. But the two symbols would not come apart.
This is terrible.
He said to himself.
How will I get out of here?
The monkey was about to strike the symbols again when he heard a voice.
Wukong, are you in there?
Who is that?
Wukong asked.
I'm the Gold Dragon.
Said the voice.
The Jade Emperor sent me to help you. I'll wedge my horn between the symbols and pry them apart.
Please hurry.
Said Wukong. Slowly the dragon's horn poked through. But the symbols were still tightly clasped together. Wukong groaned.
I can't escape.
Maybe we can find another way to pry the symbols apart.
Said the dragon.
Actually, I have a different idea.
Said the monkey. Wukong turned his iron bar into a drill. He made a hole in the dragon's horn. Then he made himself tiny and climbed into the hole.
Pull your horn out now,
said Wukong. The dragon pulled and pulled and finally got his horn out. The monkey jumped out of the hole and returned to his normal size.
Thank you,
said Wukong.
Now we must free my friends.
We have to be quiet,
said the dragon.
The demon is sleeping.
Wukong nodded. Then he turned toward the symbols and raised his iron bar. Smash! The symbols shattered.
Why did you do that?
Cried the dragon. Wukong shrugged.
I was angry.
The demon stormed into the room.
Sun Wukong, how did you escape?
Who are you?
Demanded Wukong.
How do you know my name?
My name is Yellow Brows,
said the demon.
I've been waiting for you and the Tang monk to pass by my mountain.
Wukong narrowed his eyes.
Why?
I'm a Buddhist,
said the demon.
I plan to go to the Western Paradise and get the true scriptures myself.
You can't do that,
shouted Wukong. The monkey and the dragon charged toward the demon. The demon pulled a cloth from his robe and threw it. The cloth wrapped around Wukong and the dragon, and then became very small. Soon they were tied up in a room. The Tang monk, Ba Zhe, and Wu Jing were also in the room. Their bags were lying in a corner.
I'm sorry for not believing you, Wukong,
said the Tang monk.
You suspected this place was dangerous.
Don't worry about that, Master,
said the monkey.
We must escape as soon as the demon goes back to sleep. He plans to get the true scriptures himself.
The group waited for a while. Finally, Wukong made himself tiny and slipped out from his ropes. He untied his companions and the dragon.
Let's go,
The monkey whispered.
Bajie, get the bags.
Everyone, be quiet.
The dragon warned. They tiptoed through the monastery and were soon outside. Wukong looked at Bajie and frowned.
Where are the bags?
The pig moaned.
I forgot them.
Master's special robe is in one of those bags.
Wukong sighed.
Wait here. I'll go back in and get them.
The monkey quietly hurried back to the room and grabbed the bags. But as he was leaving, he tripped and knocked over a statue. Bang! From another room, Yellow Brows shouted.
What was that?
Wukong gulped.
Uh-oh.
Journey to the West. Chapter 82, The Magic Cloth.
Oh no!
Thought Wukong.
Yellow Brows is coming!
The monkey jumped back to his feet and ran fast out of the monastery. When he got outside, everyone was waiting for him.
Where are the bags?
Asked Wu Jing. The monkey looked at his empty hands. He slapped his forehead.
I must have dropped them.
He heard footsteps approaching from inside the monastery.
We can't worry about the bags now.
Whispered Wukong.
Yellow Brows is coming. We have to go, quickly!
He helped the Tang monk up onto the horse. The group hurried down the road.
Run faster, Bajie!
Hissed Wu Jing. Zhu Bajie breathed heavily.
I don't like running.
They hadn't gotten far before Yellow Brows flew over them.
You can't escape from me,
Shouted the demon.
and you will not be going to the West. I am a true Buddhist, and I will be the one to get the true scriptures.
Wukong, Bajie, and Wu Jing pulled out their weapons. The gold dragon bared its claws. Yellow Brows scoffed.
Do you really think you can fight me?
He reached into his robe and pulled out the cloth. Bajie lowered his rake and laughed.
Ha! We have powerful weapons. And all you have is a piece of cloth. That's not an ordinary cloth,
Warned the dragon. Yellow Brows threw the cloth toward the group.
Look out!
Cried Wukong. The monkey leaped up to the sky just before the cloth wrapped around his companions. Quickly, the demon grabbed the cloth with the group in it. He ran back into his monastery and slammed the door shut. Wukong sat down on a cloud to think. How could he rescue his companions?
I can't ask the Jade Emperor for help.
Thought Wukong.
He already sent the gold dragon, who was just captured again. Maybe I can ask Guan Yin for help.
As Wukong was wondering what to do, two spirits approached him. One was a turtle and the other was a serpent. The two spirits each carried a sword and a shield.
We're from Wudang Mountain.
Said the turtle.
We've come to help you.
The serpent nodded.
We heard the Tang monk was captured by a demon called Yellow Brows. Thank you for coming.
Said Wukong. He quickly told them what had happened.
Let's go to the monastery now.
Said the turtle.
Yellow Brows won't be able to fight all three of us.
We are much too powerful for him.
Added the serpent. Wukong led the two spirits down to the monastery.
Just be careful of his cloth.
warned the monkey.
He'll try to capture us with it.
Wukong banged on the monastery door.
Release my friends right now, Yellow Brows. If you don't, I'll knock down your monastery. Then I'll smash your entire mountain.
The door flew open. Yellowbrow stepped out and threw the cloth.
Look out!
Cried Wukong. The monkey jumped out of the way, but the turtle and serpent weren't fast enough. The cloth wrapped around them. Laughing, the demon grabbed the bundle and went back into the monastery. Wukong flew back up into the sky. He sat on a cloud and moaned.
Now what will I do?
He was still thinking when he heard a voice.
Hello, Wukong.
Wukong looked toward the voice and saw a man with a big belly. The man was smiling.
Do you know who I am?
Asked the man. Wukong smiled.
You're the Buddha Maitreya!
Yes,
Said Maitreya.
and I've come to help you.
Journey to the West, Chapter 83, The Melon Field.
Are you sure you can help?
Wukong asked the Buddha Maitreya.
Yellowbrows is powerful. He captured everyone with a magic cloth. He trapped me in a pair of cymbals.
I can defeat Yellowbrows.
Said Maitreya.
He used to be my student. The cloth and symbols are precious Buddhist treasures that he stole from me.
Wukong gulped.
Sorry, but I, destroyed the symbols.
Maitreya smiled.
Don't worry about that. We must capture Yellowbrows. I'll tell you my plan.
Wukong stormed up to the monastery door again.
Yellowbrows!
He shouted.
Return my friends or I'll smash your entire mountain!
The door flew open, and Yellowbrow stepped out.
How dare you threaten me? Do you know how powerful I am?
You're not powerful.
Said the monkey.
You just think you are because you have that cloth. I bet you're too scared to fight me without it.
I'm not scared of you.
Said the demon. He went back inside and came back a moment later. He was holding a heavy wooden club. Wukong pulled out his iron bar as the demon rushed toward him. Wham! Their weapons smashed together again and again. As he fought the demon, Wukong took small steps backward. Slowly, he moved the fight away from the monastery. Soon they were fighting in the valley at the bottom of the mountain. Wukong took another swing at Yellowbrows and then pretended to be scared.
You are too powerful.
Cried the monkey.
I can't fight you anymore.
He turned and ran away.
Hey,
Yelled Yellowbrows.
get back here, coward.
The demon ran after Wukong. The monkey ran through some woods and into a melon field. Yellowbrows chased him.
Where are you, Wukong?
He shouted. Then the demon noticed all the melons. He licked his lips.
These melons look delicious.
He said to himself. A farmer was working nearby. He had a big belly.
Hey, farmer,
Called Yellowbrows.
give me one of your melons.
The farmer put down his rake and smiled. He walked over to the demon.
I'll find a nice ripe melon for you.
The farmer searched the ground. Finally, he held up a ripe melon.
Here you go.
Yellowbrows lifted the melon to take a bite. Suddenly, the melon shrank to the size of a berry. It leaped out of his hand and went right down his throat. Gulp. The demon fell to his knees.
What was wrong with that melon?
Inside the demon, Wukong punched and kicked. Boomf, pow, boomf, pow! Cried Yellowbrows. Then he noticed the farmer was gone. Instead, Maitreya stood over him. Maitreya glared at the demon.
Give me my magic cloth.
Yes, Master.
Yellowbrows pulled the cloth from his robe and handed it to Maitreya.
You may come out now, Wukong.
Said Maitreya. A tiny Wukong leaped from the demon's nose. Maitreya threw the cloth at Yellowbrows. It wrapped around the demon and became small. Maitreya put the bundle into a pocket. Wukong returned to his normal size. He and Maitreya went to the monastery. Maitreya recited a spell, and the symbols repaired themselves. He smiled at Wukong.
Good luck.
Then he vanished. Wukong untied his companions and the other spirits. The dragon, the turtle, and the serpent thanked the monkey and flew away.
Thank you, Wukong.
Said the Tang monk.
I'm sorry for not believing you when you warned us about this place.
Wukong laughed.
Maybe you'll believe me one of these days, Master.
The travelers went outside and continued west. Journey to the West, Chapter 84, The Sad King.
I wish I had money.
Bajie moaned.
All this food looks so good.
The travelers were walking through a city in the Scarlet Kingdom. The streets were lined with people selling food and other goods.
Stop thinking about food, Bajie.
Said Wu Jing.
What's going on over there?
Asked the Tang monk. He pointed to a crowd of people reading a sign on a wall. The travelers walked over to the crowd. The sign read, "The King of the Scarlet Kingdom is seeking help. Anyone who can defeat demons must report to the royal palace." The Tang monk sighed.
I don't want to delay our journey, but you three can defeat demons. We must report to the palace.
Don't worry, Master.
Said Wukong.
I'm great at defeating demons. This won't take long.
I hope they have food at the palace.
Said Bajie.
I'm starving.
The travelers arrived at the palace gate. They spoke with a guard, who then led them into the court. The king sat on his throne, looking very sad.
Your Majesty,
Said the guard.
the Tang monk is here to see you. He says his companions can defeat demons.
The king looked up but didn't say anything. The guard whispered to the travelers.
His Majesty is very upset. If you can help him, please do.
Wukong walked up to the king.
Greetings, Your Majesty. I am Sun Wukong, King of the Fruit and Flower Mountain. You need someone who can defeat demons. Well, here I am.
Suddenly the king covered his face with his hands and burst out crying.
Oh, it's terrible.
Cried the king.
I have no hope anymore.
Wukong scratched his head.
What's wrong?
The queen, my wife.
Cried the king.
I'll never. Oh, it's terrible.
Wukong frowned.
Your Majesty, stop crying.
Wukong,
Hissed the Tang monk.
show some respect.
Wukong ignored the monk and looked at the king.
I realize you're upset, But if you want my help, you must stay calm and explain everything to me.
The king sniffed and sat up straight.
You're right.
He pulled out a handkerchief and blew his nose.
I will tell you what happened. 3 years ago, the demon of power attacked our kingdom. The demon kidnapped the queen. I sent soldiers to fight the demon and bring back my wife. But the demon was too powerful.
Where is the demon?
Asked Wukong. The king got up and walked to a window. He pointed to a mountain in the distance.
The demon lives on that mountain.
Wukong clapped the king on the back.
You can stop being sad now, Your Majesty. I will rescue the queen. In the meantime, please take care of my companions. I think Bajie is hungry.
Wukong landed on the demon's mountain. Several small demons were standing outside a cave entrance.
Return the queen or I'll destroy all of you!
Shouted the monkey. Cried the small demons as they ran into the cave. Wukong heard another voice inside the cave.
What's going on?
It said.
Master!
Cried one demon.
There's a monkey outside! We must return the queen, or he'll destroy all of us!
A large demon with broad shoulders came out of the cave. He wore 3 bells.
I am the demon of power.
Shouted the demon.
Get off of my mountain.
Wukong was furious.
Do you know who I am? I'm the...
Whoosh! Flames shot all over, smoke filled the air, and sand whipped past Wukong. The monkey coughed as sand flew up his nose.
This is awful!
Cried Wukong. He covered his face and leaped off the mountain. Journey to the West, Chapter 86, Magic Bells. Wukong shouted outside the cave. He shouted all kinds of insults about the demon of power. Inside the cave, the guard woke up. He ran to the demon's bedroom.
Master!
Cried the guard.
The monkey is back!
It's the middle of the night,
said the demon.
What does he want?
He said we must return the queen.
Said the guard.
If we don't, he'll smash our entire mountain. He also yelled some terrible things about you.
The demon of power climbed out of bed and grabbed the fake bells.
I'll chase the monkey away with my fire, smoke, and sand again!
He tied the bells around his neck and went outside. The demon glared at Wukong.
Go away! I'm sleeping!
Return the queen!
Shouted the monkey.
Never!
Said the demon. He reached for the bells around his neck. Wukong pretended to be surprised.
Oh,
he said.
I have bells just like those.
The demon squinted at the monkey.
I doubt your bells are like mine. Let me see them!
Wukong held up the bells. The demon peered at them for a moment.
Those bells do look like mine. But my bells are magic!
So are mine,
said Wukong.
My bells can make fire, smoke, and sand,
said the demon.
That's interesting.
Wukong smiled.
My bells can do that too.
Really?
The demon of power looked surprised.
Let's compare bells to see whose work better.
Okay,
said Wukong.
You go first.
I was planning to.
said the demon. He shook his bells. Nothing happened. He shook the bells again. Again, nothing happened.
That's strange.
The demon mumbled. He looked closely at the bells.
These bells worked fine yesterday.
Wukong tried not to laugh.
Let's see if my bells work.
He said. The monkey shook the bells. Whoosh! Fire, smoke, and sand rushed toward the demon. Cried the demon. He covered his face and fell to the ground. Wukong pulled out his iron bar and got ready to strike.
Wukong, stop!
Shouted a voice. The monkey looked up and saw Guan Yin coming down from the sky. Wukong bowed.
Greetings, Bodhisattva. I was just going to destroy this demon.
You must not harm him.
Said Guan Yin.
He's my pet wolf. He escaped from heaven.
The Bodhisattva looked at the demon.
Return to your true form.
Light sparkled, and the demon turned into a huge wolf. Guan Yin climbed onto the wolf's back. She looked at the wolf's neck and then at Wukong.
Give me the bells, Wukong.
What bells?
Wukong held the bells behind his back.
My wolf wears a set of 3 bells,
said Guan Yin.
I know you have them. You could not have defeated the wolf without them.
Wukong shrugged.
I have no idea what you're...
Hand them over,
said Guan Yin.
or I'll recite the tight headband spell.
There's no need for that,
cried the monkey.
I was just joking.
Grinning sheepishly, he handed over the bells. Guan Yin tied the bells around the wolf's neck and then rode up into the sky. Back at the palace, the king and queen were reunited.
Thank you for rescuing the queen, Sun Wukong,
said the king.
Tonight, we will hold a feast to thank you and your companions,
said the queen. That night, the royal banquet hall was filled with people. Servants carried trays filled with rice, vegetables, mushrooms, noodles, tofu, dumplings, and other food. Bajie ate everything in front of him.
Would you like more steamed buns?
Asked a servant.
You don't need to ask.
Said the pig.
Just put food in front of me and I'll eat it.
Journey to the West, Chapter 87, The Three Young Women. Wukong and his companions were walking through a forest,
I'm glad the road goes through this shady forest.
said the Tang monk.
The sun is very hot this morning.
Wu Jing nodded.
It's nice to walk in the shade.
Wukong looked around suspiciously. He knew that forests were often filled with dangers. Suddenly, Bajie fell flat on his face. He climbed back to his feet and rubbed his nose.
I'm okay.
He said.
I tripped on a rock.
The travelers soon came to a wall running along the road. Behind the wall, they could see the roof of a house. Up ahead was a gate,
I wonder who lives here.
said Wu Jing.
Shh!
Said Wukong.
I hear laughter.
The monkey peeked over the wall. 3 young women were laughing and kicking a ball around,
I see 3 young women.
said Wukong.
Let's ask them for some food.
Said Wu Jing.
That's a good idea.
Said Bajie.
I'll go talk to them.
The pig headed toward the gate,
Bajie, wait here.
said the Tang monk. He looked at his companions.
I will speak to the women. You three might frighten them.
Frighten them?
Bajie echoed.
Yes.
Said the Tang monk.
After all, Bajie, you're a large talking pig. Wu Jing, you're big and purple. And Wukong, you're scary sometimes.
The monkey shrugged. Wu Jing nodded.
Fine.
Snapped Bajie. The Tang monk opened the gate and went through. He approached the women.
Look,
Said one woman.
we have a visitor.
He's a monk, said another woman.
What can we do for you?
Asked the third.
Hello.
Said the Tang monk.
I'm wondering if you could spare some food for my companions and me.
The three women smiled.
Of course we can spare some food.
Said the first woman. We have plenty, said the second woman.
Come inside our house.
Said the third. The three young women led the Tang monk into their house. As soon as the monk entered, he became scared. The interior of the house was dark and dreary. Dust covered everything, and cobwebs hung from the walls.
Tell us, monk,
Said one woman.
why are you walking through our forest today?
The Tang monk looked around nervously.
I'm going to the Western Paradise to...
You're the Tang monk!
Shrieked all three women. The Tang monk took a step back.
You've heard of me?
Of course!
Said one woman. All three women reached behind their heads. They began to pull out long strands of spider silk. Swiftly they moved toward the Tang monk.
What's taking Master so long?
Asked Wukong. The monk's companions were waiting outside in the road.
He's probably inside that house, enjoying a nice meal.
Said Bajie.
Meanwhile, we're out here starving.
The Tang monk wouldn't do that, Bajie.
Said Wu Jing. Wukong looked worried.
We'd better check on Master.
If there's food, I want to be there.
Said Bajie.
I'll go with you.
The two of them went to the gate. When they saw the house, they both gasped.
The house is covered in spider webs.
Cried the pig. Wukong kicked in the gate, and they rushed toward the house. The monkey banged on the door.
Open up!
The door flew open. The three women leaped out, shooting sticky webs at Wukong and Bajie. The pig waved his rake. Webs wrapped around it, and soon the weapon was stuck to his head. Bajie turned to run, but more webs flew toward him. They wrapped around his legs, and he fell to the ground. Journey to the West, Chapter 88, The Priest's Plan.
Help!
Cried Bajie. Spiderwebs now covered the pig so he couldn't move at all. Wukong quickly grew tall. He swung his iron bar furiously at the young women.
Oh no!
Cried one woman.
The monkey is a powerful spirit!
Cried another.
We must leave!
Cried the third. Poof! The women vanished. Wukong ran into the house. He saw a large form wrapped in spider webs in a corner.
Master!
Cried the monkey. He quickly pulled off the webs.
Thank you, Wukong.
Said the monk breathlessly.
Those women were planning to eat me.
Those women are gone now.
Said Wukong. Then he smirked.
Bajie scared them away. The pig was a real hero,
Wonderful.
said the Tang monk as they went outside.
Where is Bajie now?
He's right there.
Wukong pointed and laughed.
Bajie, the brave hero.
Bajie was on the ground, still struggling to get out of the webs. He pretended to laugh.
Ha ha! Wukong, very funny.
The road left the forest and headed up a mountain. The travelers arrived at a Taoist abbey,
Maybe we can rest here.
said Wu Jing. The group entered the abbey. An old priest was inside, mixing a potion,
Visitors,
said the priest,
come in and make yourselves at home. Thank you.
said the Tang monk. The priest led them to a sitting area.
You're Buddhists.
The priest observed as everyone sat down.
Where are you going?
The Tang monk opened his mouth to answer, but Wukong spoke first,
We're on our way to visit friends.
said the monkey,
That's nice.
said the priest.
Would you like some tea? I have plenty of food, too. I will prepare a meal for us.
That would be wonderful.
Said Bajie. The priest stood up and left the room.
Wukong, why did you lie to the priest?
Asked the Tang monk,
I'm just being careful.
said the monkey.
We shouldn't tell everyone we meet that you're the Tang monk.
Wu Jing nodded.
Wukong is right, Master. You almost got eaten just this morning.
The priest was in the kitchen boiling water for tea. He was looking for rice when he realized he wasn't alone. The 3 young women stood nearby, and they looked angry,
Hello, my dear friends.
said the priest.
What's wrong? You look upset.
We caught the Tang monk this morning.
Said one woman. But we had to flee our house, said another woman.
A monkey and a pig attacked us.
Said the third.
I have visitors right now.
The priest whispered.
There's a monk with 3 companions. One is a monkey and another is a pig.
Are you serious?
Whispered the first woman. It must be them, whispered the second woman.
They must not leave.
Whispered the third. An evil smile flashed across the priest's face.
We'll eat the Tang monk, and we'll all live forever.
The first woman now looked worried.
But how will we defeat the monk's companions? That monkey is powerful.
The priest went to a cabinet and pulled out a small bottle.
I'll add this poison to their tea.
The priest returned to the travelers.
Sorry I took so long.
He said, smiling.
The meal will be ready soon. Here's your tea. Thank you.
Said the Tang monk. Wukong looked at the priest and suddenly felt suspicious. There was something evil behind the man's smile. The monkey glanced at his tea. It didn't look quite right,
Master!
cried the monkey,
Don't drink the...
but it was too late. The monk, Wu Jing, and Bajie were already sipping their tea. Journey to the West, Chapter 89, Many Eyes. Wukong gasped as his companions began to look ill. The Tang monk's head bobbed forward, and his teacup dropped from his hand. And then, thump! The monk toppled to the floor. A moment later, Wu Jing and Bajie passed out too.
Evil villain!
Wukong jumped to his feet and pulled out his iron bar. The priest backed away. Just then, a door burst open, and the three women ran into the room.
You again?
Cried the monkey. He leaped out of the way as the women shot webs at him. He jumped up, did a flip in the air, and landed directly behind the women. Furiously, he slammed his iron bar down. Wham! There was a puff of smoke. When it cleared, a dead spider lay where one of the women had been. The other two women stared in horror.
He destroyed our sister!
Cried one.
He's a monster!
Cried the other. Wukong charged toward them. He knocked flying webs out of his way and then... crack! Bam! Both women were gone. In their places lay dead spiders.
Those spider spirits were my dear friends.
Cried the priest. His eyes burned with fury.
You will regret destroying them.
The priest opened his robe, revealing a body covered in eyes. Suddenly, blinding light shot from the many eyes.
Ah! The light is too bright!
Cried the monkey. He covered his own eyes and ran all over the room. But he couldn't escape the blinding light. Finally, he slammed his iron bar into the abbey's stone floor. A huge hole opened up. The monkey jumped in and turned into a mole. Using his claws, he tunneled until he was sure he was far from the abbey. When Wukong popped up out of the ground, he turned back into himself. Bright light was shining from the abbey. Even from far away, the light burned the monkey's eyes. Wukong turned away.
What will I do? I have no way to save my friends. That priest's light is too powerful.
He sobbed and sobbed until he heard a voice say,
Don't cry, Wukong.
The monkey looked up. A tall woman was standing over him.
I am the Bodhisattva Pralambra,
said the woman.
That priest is a centipede spirit called the Demon Lord of Many Eyes. I am the only one who can defeat him.
Pralambra pulled a small needle from her sleeve. Turning, she threw the needle into the beams of light. Crack! The sound thundered in the sky, and the beams of light vanished. Wukong and Pralambra returned to the abbey. The priest lay shaking on the floor. All of his eyes were squeezed shut. Pralambra pointed her finger at the priest, and he turned into a giant centipede. Pralambra took a bottle out of her sleeve.
Here, Wukong,
said the Bodhisattva.
These pills will cure your companions. I will take the centipede with me to be punished.
Wukong bowed.
Thank you, Bodhisattva.
The journey continued, and many weeks went by.
The journey has been easy lately,
said the Tang monk one day. Bajie snorted.
That's true,
said Wu Jing.
It's been weeks since any demons tried to eat Master.
The Western Paradise is still far away.
Wukong warned the others.
We'll face many more dangers before we get there.
The Tang monk smiled.
Relax, Wukong, and enjoy the beautiful day. There is no danger here.
Just then, a man appeared up ahead. He was waving his arms frantically.
Don't come this way,
shouted the man.
There's danger ahead. Great danger.
Journey to the West, Chapter 91, The Demon Officers. The demon general looked at Wukong, who was still in disguise.
The Tang monk is heading toward our mountain?
The general asked.
Yes,
said Wukong,
that is great news.
said a demon captain.
Unfortunately, there's also some bad news.
Wukong pretended to look worried.
The Tang Monk has 3 companions. One is a big purple fellow. Another is a pig who appears to be quite lazy.
The general narrowed his eyes at Wukong.
And the third companion?
The third companion is a monkey.
Said Wukong.
I believe he is Sun Wukong.
I was afraid that monkey was traveling with the monk.
The general grumbled.
What does Sun Wukong look like?
He's huge.
Wukong pretended to shiver.
He has fiery red eyes and sharp fangs.
Oh dear.
Said a captain.
There's no need to worry about some silly monkey.
Said the colonel.
I don't care what he did 500 years ago. We have a powerful army.
I heard the monkey talking.
Said Wukong.
He said he hopes there's an entire demon army on this mountain.
What?
The general looked confused.
He hopes there's an army?
Wukong nodded.
He said destroying demons is good exercise. He has a magic iron bar. He can make it big enough to crush our entire army with one strike. But he doesn't plan to do that.
A captain gulped.
What does he plan to do? He pledged to crush one demon at a time.
Said Wukong.
That way he'll get more exercise.
The demons' faces went pale.
This is bad news.
Said the general. The other demons nodded in agreement.
You can all stick around if you want to,
Said Wukong.
but I'm leaving.
A captain looked surprised.
What about eating the Tang monk? Don't you want to live forever?
Wukong shook his head.
I heard our 3 leaders talking privately. They don't plan to share the Tang Monk with us. They're going to eat him themselves.
The officers grew angry.
That's not fair.
Said the colonel.
It's terrible.
Said a captain. The general bit his lip.
If our leaders won't share the Tang monk with us, they can catch him themselves. Let's gather the troops and leave this place.
Soon Wukong could see the demon army marching away in the valley below. The monkey smiled.
I got rid of the army. Now I'll deal with the 3 demon leaders.
Still in disguise, Wukong entered the cave. He came to a large room. 3 huge demons, a lion, an elephant, and a raptor, sat on thrones.
The Tang Monk is heading toward the mountain,
Wukong announced.
Excellent.
Said the lion.
Tell the troops to capture him.
The troops left.
Said Wukong.
What?
Shouted the raptor.
Why?
The Tang Monk is traveling with Sun Wukong.
Said the monkey.
The troops were afraid of the monkey.
So it's true that Sun Wukong is with the monk.
Said the elephant.
That monkey is powerful. We should leave the Tang monk alone.
Nonsense!
Said the lion.
We don't need an army to fight a monkey. We'll capture the Tang monk ourselves.
You're crazy!
Said the elephant.
Sun Wukong defeated Heaven's entire army!
Don't call me crazy!
Shouted the lion.
Don't shout at me!
Shouted the elephant.
I'll shout at anyone I want to!
Shouted the lion. As the 2 demons argued, Wukong began to laugh. Soon he was laughing hard. The demons stopped arguing and stared at him. The monkey looked down and saw that his disguise was gone. He gulped.
Uh-oh.
Journey to the West, Chapter 92, The Lion Demon. The elephant pointed at Wukong.
He's not a demon. He's a monkey.
He's not just a monkey.
Said the raptor.
He's Sun Wukong. Get him.
The lion pounced. Wukong shot out of the cave as fast as he could. He didn't stop running until he was far from the cave.
Phew.
The monkey said to himself.
That was close. I guess when I laughed, I broke my concentration. That must have made my disguise vanish.
Wukong returned to his companions.
Well,
Said Wu Jing.
is there an army up ahead?
I scared away the entire army.
Wukong boasted.
But there are still 3 powerful demons on the mountain. They plan to capture Master and, well, eat him.
Oh!
Cried the Tang monk, nearly falling over. Wu Jing caught him.
Don't worry, Master.
Said Wukong.
We won't let those demons harm you. But we do have to destroy them before we cross the mountain. It's good that we discovered their plan before we went up the mountain.
The Tang monk nodded, wringing his hands nervously. Wukong turned to Bajie and Wu Jing.
Someone needs to help me get rid of the demons.
I'll go with you.
Said Bajie.
I'll stay here and look after the Tang monk.
Said Wu Jing. Wukong and Bajie went to the cave entrance. The monkey pulled out his iron bar. Bajie raised his rake.
I'll do all the talking.
Said Wukong.
What are you going to say?
Asked Bajie.
I'll just ask them nicely to leave.
Said Wukong. He turned to the cave entrance.
Demons!
He shouted.
Leave this mountain now or we'll knock it down and crush all 3 of you.
For a moment, everything was quiet. Then the lion stepped out of the cave. He towered over the monkey and the pig.
Why are you out here yelling?
Asked the lion calmly.
You, the elephant, and the raptor must leave this mountain at once.
Said Wukong.
Why must we leave?
Asked the lion.
We're not bothering you.
Villain!
Shouted the monkey.
I know you're planning to capture and eat the Tang monk.
We haven't touched the Tang monk.
Said the lion.
But you, Sun Wukong, you scared away our entire army. You're the villain here.
I'm not a villain.
Shouted Wukong. He raised his iron bar and charged toward the lion. The lion opened his mouth wide, revealing huge, sharp fangs. Wukong swung his iron bar. The lion pounced and gulp. Bajie's face went white with horror.
Yikes!
He cried.
That lion just swallowed Wukong!
The pig ran as fast as he could. He didn't stop running until he reached Wu Jing and the Tang monk.
What happened?
Asked Wu Jing.
Where's Wukong?
The journey is over.
Said the pig between breaths.
Wukong got eaten.
What?
Cried the Tang monk. Bajie shook his head.
We should all just go home.
Meanwhile, the lion went back into the cave. His chest was puffed out, and he wore a big smile.
What happened out there?
Asked the elephant.
Did you scare away Sun Wukong?
Not exactly.
said the lion.
Well, where is he?
Asked the raptor. The lion patted his belly.
He's in here.
You ate him?
Asked the elephant.
I did.
Said the lion. The raptor shook his head.
That was a bad idea.
Why?
Asked the lion.
Sun Wukong is immortal.
Said the raptor.
He's probably still alive inside you.
Yes, I am still alive.
Wukong suddenly shouted.
It's nice and warm in here.
Journey to the West, Chapter 93, A Problem for the Lion Demon. The elephant and the raptor stared at the lion.
Sun Wukong is alive inside you.
Said the raptor.
Aren't you worried?
The lion sat down on his throne.
Worried about what?
Well,
Said the raptor.
the monkey is talking inside you. Doesn't that bother you?
Let him talk.
Said the lion defiantly.
It doesn't bother me at all.
What shall I talk about?
Wukong called.
Who wants to hear a story?
The elephant shook his head slowly.
What if the monkey never stops talking? You'll never get any sleep.
Said the lion.
That would be bad.
He thought for a moment.
I know what to do. I'll stop eating.
What will that do?
Asked the elephant.
Yes.
Said Wukong.
What will that do?
If I don't eat, Wukong doesn't eat.
Said the lion.
I'll make him starve.
Wukong laughed.
Nice try, lion. But I'll just turn one of my hairs into a stove. I'll cook a nice meal in here.
Oh dear.
The raptor shook his head.
If that monkey fires up a stove, it will make you very hot. Plus, it will create lots of smoke. The smoke will fill your head, and you'll never stop sneezing.
At last the lion was starting to look nervous.
That would be terrible.
He said.
I'd better cough out Wukong.
The lion went to the middle of the room. He bent over and coughed. Wukong laughed.
Ha ha! I'm still in here.
The lion coughed again, but still Wukong stayed inside him,
I'm going to practice my fighting skills.
announced the monkey. Boom! Pow! Boom! Pow! Wukong punched and kicked inside the lion. The lion fell to his knees.
No!
He moaned.
It hurts! It hurts! Wukong, please stop!
Let's make a deal.
Said Wukong.
I'll come out if you promise to let us cross the mountain safely.
The lion looked up at the raptor and the elephant. They both nodded.
We promise.
The lion moaned again.
Okay then.
Said Wukong.
I'm coming out.
Wukong started the climb up the lion's throat. Just as he reached the lion's mouth, Wukong heard whispering.
Lion, I have a plan.
Whispered the elephant.
When Wukong tries to come out of your mouth, bite him.
I don't know.
Whispered the lion.
Wukong is very strong. My belly still hurts.
Chop him quickly before he can fight back.
Whispered the elephant.
Okay.
Said the lion.
Those dumb demons.
Thought Wukong.
Don't they realize I can hear them?
He pulled out his iron bar.
Shall I come out now?
asked the monkey.
Yes.
Said the lion. Wukong heard the 3 demons snickering.
Okay,
Said Wukong.
I'm coming out.
He held out the iron bar. The lion bit down hard on the bar. Crack! A tooth shattered into tiny pieces.
No! No! No!
The lion howled in pain. Tears streamed down his face. He rolled around on the floor, holding his paws over his mouth.
You villains!
Wukong shouted.
I heard you whispering!
I'm sorry!
The lion was still crying.
I won't try to bite you again! Please don't hurt me anymore!
Wukong hesitated.
I'm coming out now. You'd better not try any more tricks.
We won't!
Said the elephant.
We promise!
Said the raptor. Wukong popped out of the lion's nose. He glared at the demons for a moment and then walked out of the cave. As soon as the monkey was gone, the elephant turned to the other 2 demons.
I have a new plan for capturing the Tang Monk.
Journey to the West, Chapter 94, The Elephant Demon. The lion demon rubbed his aching mouth.
Let's leave the Tang Monk alone. Wukong is dangerous.
The raptor nodded.
Bah!
The elephant demon waved his hand.
I'm not afraid of that silly monkey. I have a perfect plan to defeat him and capture the Tang Monk.
The lion shook his head.
The last time you had a plan, I wound up with a broken tooth.
The elephant snorted.
Just leave everything to me.
Wukong returned to his companions. He heard Bajie and Wu Jing arguing.
We can't go home.
Shouted Wu Jing.
We're on an important journey.
But Wukong got eaten by the lion demon.
Said Bajie.
Without Wukong, we'll never get to the Western Paradise!
Here I am.
Said the monkey. Everyone spun around.
You're alive!
Cried the Tang Monk.
Yes, I am.
Said Wukong.
I beat up that lion's insides and broke one of his teeth. The demons are scared of me now. They promised to let us cross their mountain safely.
That's wonderful!
Said the Tang Monk. Wu Jing helped the monk climb onto the horse. The other travelers started walking. They hadn't gone far when they saw a large figure ahead blocking the road.
That's the elephant demon.
Said Wukong with a frown.
What's he doing here?
We want the Tang Monk!
Shouted the elephant. The Tang Monk fainted. Wukong turned to Bajie.
I've been dealing with these demons all day. It's your turn to fight them.
Bajie sighed.
Okay,
Waving his rake, the pig charged toward the elephant.
you'll never harm my master!
The elephant blocked the rake, spun around, and struck back. Bajie jumped out of the way. The elephant jerked his head, and his trunk shot out. Before Bajie could duck, the trunk wrapped tightly around his body. As the elephant ran off with Bajie, Wukong groaned. The monkey turned to his companions.
You two wait here. I'll go save the pig.
Wukong returned to the demon's cave and turned into a fly. He found Bajie deep inside the cave. The pig was tied up, floating in a tub of salt water. Wukong changed back into himself and untied his companion.
Thank you.
Said Bajie.
Those demons were planning to pickle me.
You're welcome, Bajie.
Said Wukong.
Now let's... Wah!
The elephant's trunk wrapped tightly around Wukong's chest. Then the elephant stepped out of a dark corner.
I knew you'd come to save your friend,
said the elephant.
Now you can't protect the Tang Monk. My trunk is very strong.
Wukong's arms were still free. He pulled out his iron bar, which instantly grew. With all his strength, he slammed it down on the elephant's trunk.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
The elephant cried. He released Wukong and fell backward. His trunk had a horrible purple bruise. Wukong moved toward the elephant, his iron bar raised high. The elephant's eyes went wide.
Please don't hurt me anymore. We'll let the Tang Monk cross the mountain.
The monkey glared at the elephant for a moment. Then he put the iron bar away.
You'd better not trick us again.
Wukong and Bajie left the cave and returned to their companions. The group continued over the mountain. As the travelers came around a bend, they saw the lion and the elephant. The two demons were blocking the road. Wukong stomped toward them.
What are you doing? You promised to...
Wukong, help us!
Cried the Tang Monk. Wukong spun around. The raptor had grabbed the monkey's companions with its talons. With a powerful flap of its wings, the giant bird flew away. Journey to the West, Chapter 96, Wind and Fog.
I hope we reach the Western Paradise soon,
said the Tang Monk.
This journey has been very dangerous.
Bajie nodded.
Those three demons tried to pickle me.
Everybody laughed, even Bajie.
Wukong, what happened to those demons?
Asked Wu Jing.
Buddha took them away,
said Wukong.
I'm sure they were punished.
Thank you again for saving us,
said the Tang Monk. Wukong waved his hand.
It was nothing, Master. Buddha did most of the work.
The group felt a strong wind blow down from the mountains up ahead. A dark fog filled the sky and then disappeared. The Tang Monk was nervous.
What caused that wind and fog?
Relax, Master,
said Wukong.
I'm sure it was something harmless, maybe some small demons. I'll go check.
The monkey walked up the road and around a bend. He heard laughter and looked up. High above the road, a fat monster was sitting on the edge of a cliff. Several little demons sat next to the monster. Wukong flew up to get a closer look. The fat monster appeared to be concentrating. Suddenly, a burp as loud as thunder blew down the mountain. The demons giggled and laughed.
That was your best burp yet!
Cried one demon. The monster patted his belly.
Yes, I'm proud of that one,
Show us the fog again,
said another demon.
Coming right up,
said the monster. He covered one nostril with a finger, closed his eyes, and blew hard. Dark fog poured out of his other nostril. The demons clapped and cheered. The monster smiled, and then more wind blew down the mountain. There was a roar of laughter. One demon nearly fell off the cliff. Wukong shook his head.
I'm not worried about these demons.
He said to himself.
They're disgusting, but not dangerous.
The monkey smiled.
It does give me an idea, though.
Wukong returned to his companions, who were waiting alongside the road.
Did you see any demons?
Asked Wu Jing. Wukong shook his head.
The road is safe.
Then the monkey pulled Bajie aside.
Bajie,
He whispered.
there's a village up ahead. The people there are preparing a huge feast. I saw vegetables, noodles, tofu, steamed buns, and all sorts of delicious food. I thought maybe you'd like to go before us and start eating.
Bajie licked his lips.
Thank you for thinking of me, Wukong. I am rather hungry right now.
The pig turned to the Tang monk.
Master, I think I should go ahead and check the mountain too. I trust Wukong, of course, but we must protect you, and I'd like to be extra safe.
The Tang monk smiled.
I'm impressed, Bajie. Thank you for doing extra work.
Bajie winked at Wukong and then headed up the road. The monster burped again, and another wind blew. Then he blew more fog from one nostril. The demons laughed hysterically. Suddenly, there was a loud rumbling sound, and everyone was silent. The monster patted his big belly.
I'm hungry,
The demons looked at one another,
I'm hungry too.
said one,
It's probably time for lunch.
said another. The monster stood up.
Let's go down to the road and find some people to eat.
The demons cheered and followed the monster down the mountain. When they got to the road, they made themselves look like people. The monster chuckled.
The next time someone comes along this road, it's lunchtime.
For a few moments, they waited. Then a large pig came around the bend,
Hello?
said Bajie, smiling.
I'm here for the feast.
Journey to the West, Chapter 97, Bajie and the Monster. Bajie took a step back as a dark mist surrounded the people on the road. When the mist cleared, he saw they were really a monster and several little demons. The monster grinned at him.
Yes, you are here for the feast, pig. We're going to eat you for lunch.
What?
Bajie raised his rake and swung as the monster approached. The demons rushed toward the pig from all sides.
That rotten monkey lied to me!
Cried Bajie. He spun around and knocked over 2 demons with his rake. The monster threw a punch. Bajie blocked the punch with his rake.
Oh!
Cried the monster, rubbing his hand. Bajie kicked a demon sneaking up behind him.
That monkey is always causing problems.
The pig muttered. He slammed the rake down on another demon.
So what if I like to eat? Did he really have to trick me?
The monster attacked again. Bajie thrust his rake toward him, still complaining about Wukong.
Wukong is small. He doesn't need to eat as much as I do.
The monster suddenly stopped fighting and looked at Bajie curiously.
You just said Wukong. Are you talking about Sun Wukong, the monkey who defeated Heaven's entire army 500 years ago?
Yes.
Said Bajie.
Do you know him?
I've heard he's traveling with the Tang monk.
Said the monster.
You must be traveling with the Tang Monk too!
Why are you interested in the monk?
asked Bajie suspiciously. The monster licked his lips.
I've heard that anyone who eats the Tang Monk will live forever!
Panicked, Bajie ran from the demons and back to his companions. He pointed at Wukong.
You tricked me!
The monkey was laughing.
How was the feast, Bajie?
Bajie's eyes burned with fury. He turned to the Tang monk.
Wukong told me there was a feast up ahead. But instead it was a group of demons and a monster. They tried to eat me!
The Tang monk was angry.
Bajie, I thought you were going to check the mountain. Instead, you went to look for a feast? You lied to me. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Bajie hung his head. By now, Wukong was rolling on the ground, laughing.
And you, Wukong,
Snapped the Tang monk.
I should recite the tight headband spell to punish you.
Instantly, the monkey stopped laughing. He jumped to his feet.
Please don't do that.
You knew there were demons and a monster ahead?
Said the monk.
And you didn't say anything?
Wu Jing shook his head.
You should have said something, Wukong.
I admit I knew about the demons and the monster.
Said Wukong.
But they're not dangerous.
Not dangerous?
Bajie scoffed.
They wanted to eat me! And now they're planning to eat Master!
Oh no!
Cried the Tang monk. Wukong held up his hands.
Relax, Master. You have nothing to worry about.
We must capture the Tang Monk.
The monster said to the demons.
But we need a plan. Sun Wukong is strong. Did you know that he once defeated Heaven's entire army?
Yes, we've heard.
Said one of the demons. Another demon hurried over.
I just spied on the travelers. The Tang Monk has 3 spirit companions. Sun Wukong, that pig, and a purple fellow.
Said the monster.
That's bad.
Not really.
Said the demon.
I have a plan to lure the spirits away from the monk.
The demon told the monster his plan. When he was done speaking, the demon folded his arms.
What do you think?
A big smile spread across the monster's face.
I love it!
Journey to the West, Chapter 98, 3 Fights. Wukong and his companions walked on the mountain road. The monkey watched carefully for the monster and demons. Suddenly, a demon charged toward the group.
Stay here, everyone!
Shouted Bajie.
I'll fight this demon!
The pig swung his rake. The demon stepped off the road and headed down the slope of the mountain. Bajie raced after the demon and was soon out of sight. Wukong heard grunts and clashing weapons, but he couldn't see the fight. A moment later, the demon climbed back onto the road.
Stay here, Wu Jing.
Shouted Wukong.
Protect the Tang monk.
The monkey charged toward the demon. Clang! Their weapons clashed. Wukong fought with all his strength. Again, the demon left the road and headed down the mountain. Wukong chased him. The monkey and the demon disappeared down the slope of the mountain.
Do you think Wukong can defeat that demon?
Asked the Tang monk nervously.
Definitely.
Said Wu Jing.
I wonder what happened to Bajie, though. I hope he's okay.
Suddenly, the demon was back. Wu Jing was shocked.
How did you get past Wukong?
Without waiting for an answer, Wu Jing raised his spear and attacked the demon. The two fought, kicking up dust and rocks. Wu Jing struck the demon across the legs. The demon tumbled down the mountainside. Wu Jing ran after him. The Tang monk stood in the road. For a moment, everything was quiet. Then he heard footsteps behind him. The monk turned around and gasped. A huge, fat monster was smiling wickedly at him. When Wukong returned to the road, he found Bajie alone. The pig looked upset.
Where are Master and Wu Jing?
Asked the monkey. Bajie scratched his head.
I don't know. I defeated that demon and then came back here. Everyone was gone.
You didn't defeat the demon,
said Wukong.
He got past you. He came back here and I had to fight him.
What?
Shouted Bajie.
You're crazy. I was fighting with the demon until just a few moments ago.
Wukong scoffed.
Do you really expect me to believe that? I was just fighting with the demon.
Wu Jing returned to the road, annoyed.
How did that demon get past you two? He wasn't that powerful.
Wukong was confused.
The demon didn't get past me. I was fighting with him until just a moment ago.
That's impossible,
said Wu Jing.
After you chased him down the slope, he returned and... Where's Master?
Wukong made a fist.
How could we be so stupid? There wasn't just one demon. There were 3. They lured us away one by one. Then another demon, probably that fat monster, grabbed Master while we were gone.
Bajie fumed.
You're right!
That monster must have a cave nearby,
said Wu Jing.
Let's find it.
The 3 companions searched the mountain. They soon found a cave. Its door was shut.
Do you think this is the monster's cave?
Asked Wu Jing.
We'll find out,
said Bajie. He raised his rake and knocked a hole in the door. Then he shouted into the hole.
Release the Tang monk!
A demon inside the cave shrieked and ran into a kitchen. The monster was grinding spices with a mortar and pestle.
That pig is here!
Cried the demon. The monster kept grinding.
Who cares? I'm only afraid of Wukong.
I'm here too!
Shouted Wukong through the hole. The monster dropped the mortar and pestle.
Uh-oh!
He thought for a moment. Then he cleared his throat and shouted.
You're too late! We already ate the Tang monk!
Journey to the West, Chapter 99, Squire Ku's Vow. The monster yelled from inside the cave.
We ate the Tang monk, so you might as well leave.
Oh no!
Bajie fell to his knees and cried. Wu Jing wiped tears from his eyes.
Poor Master.
Wukong frowned at his companions.
I can't believe you two believe that monster.
He sighed.
Wait here.
The monkey turned into a moth and flew into the cave. He soon found the Tang monk tied up in a dark room. Wukong turned back into himself.
Wukong!
Cried the Tang monk. Shh! The monkey untied the monk.
We must be quiet.
Wukong recited a spell. A moment later, the sound of snoring drifted into the room.
My spell put the monster and demons to sleep,
said the monkey.
Let's go.
Wukong and the monk came out of the cave. Bajie and Wu Jing were thrilled,
Master, we thought you'd been eaten.
said Bajie.
I knew he was fine.
Said Wukong.
Now I'm going to make sure these villains never bother anyone again.
He pulled out his iron bar. It grew until it was the size of a very tall tree,
Stand back!
said the monkey. With one swing, Wukong smashed the entire cave. Rocks exploded and fell on top of one another. Wukong looked at the rubble and smiled. Weeks went by, and the travelers arrived in a small town. Bajie's stomach growled loudly. Wukong laughed.
I guess we should look for food.
They saw an old monk walking down a street.
Kind monk,
Said the Tang monk.
do you know where we can beg for some food? We are quite hungry.
The old monk nodded.
Go to Squire Ku's house. The squire made a vow to feed 10,000 Buddhist monks. He will surely give you some food.
He gave the Tang monk directions to the house.
Thank you.
Said the Tang monk. The travelers arrived at the squire's gate, and a servant let them in. The squire's house was very large and fancy. Squire Ku came outside.
Greetings.
He said with a smile.
Please, come inside.
The travelers sat with the squire in a large room. A servant brought tea and snacks,
Thank you for inviting us in, Squire.
said the Tang monk.
We heard that you made a vow to feed 10,000 monks.
Yes,
Said the squire.
I've made plenty of money during my life. But I want to do good deeds as well. I hope to be reborn one day as a bodhisattva or even a Buddha.
Well, Squire,
Said Bajie.
today's your lucky day. I can easily eat as much food as 10,000 monks. So if you feed me, you'll definitely become a Buddha.
Everybody laughed,
It is my lucky day.
said the squire.
Last night, I checked to see how many monks I've fed. So far, I've fed 9,996 monks. I need to feed only 4 more in order to fulfill my vow.
A smile spread across his face.
And there are 4 of you.
That evening, Squire Ku held a feast. Everybody in the town was invited. The travelers sat with the squire and his wife, Lady Ku. Bajie drooled as he gazed at all of the wonderful food on the table.
Noodles, buns, mushrooms. I don't know what to eat first.
As they ate, Squire Ku leaned toward the Tang monk.
So, where are you and your companions going?
We're traveling to the Western Paradise.
Said the monk.
We're going to fetch the true scriptures from Buddha.
The squire's eyes lit up.
You are special guests. I can't let you leave.
Journey to the West, Chapter 101, Arrested.
This is ridiculous.
Said the Tang monk.
Why are we under arrest?
Soldiers were bringing the travelers back to the town.
You robbed Squire Ku's house last night.
Said one of the soldiers.
What?
Cried Bajie.
We would never rob somebody. Especially not the squire. He was kind to us.
You had all the stolen items.
Replied the soldier.
You also had the 2 horses that were stolen from his stable.
We got everything from the real robbers.
Said the Tang monk.
We were going to return it all to Squire Ku.
The soldier laughed.
Oh, you got everything from the real robbers. Tell me, where are the real robbers now,
Wukong sighed.
I let them go.
The soldier laughed again.
Oh, that was very kind of you.
Wukong could tell that the soldier didn't believe him. By now, they had reached the town. A crowd of people had gathered to watch. The soldiers brought the travelers into the courthouse. The judge frowned at the monk and the others.
Lock them up!
This is a mistake.
The Tang monk pleaded.
We can't go to jail. We're making an important journey to visit Buddha.
The judge shook his head.
Buddha doesn't allow killers in the Western Paradise.
Killers?
Said Wu Jing.
What are you talking about?
You killed Squire Ku.
Said the judge. The Tang monk's face went pale.
The squire is dead?
The judge narrowed his eyes at the monk.
Yes. And Lady Ku saw you do it.
The travelers were shoved into a jail cell, and the door was slammed shut. The Tang monk started to cry.
This is terrible.
Bajie made a fist.
Lady Ku framed us!
Yes.
Said Wu Jing, nodding.
But why?
I'll find out tonight.
Promised Wukong.
Thank you, Wukong.
The Tang monk looked grateful.
We must prove our innocence.
That night, Wukong turned into a bee and flew out of the jail and to Squire Ku's house. He found Lady Ku mourning over a coffin. The monkey changed back into himself and hid behind a curtain. Imitating the squire's voice, he said,
My lady, it's me, your husband.
Lady Ku's eyes went wide.
Husband? Is it really you?
Yes.
Said Wukong.
Why did you tell the judge that the Tang monk and his companions killed me?
Lady Ku hesitated.
I was angry with them. You wanted them to stay here, but they insisted on leaving. That was an insult to us.
You have done a terrible thing!
Thundered Wukong. The walls of the house shook, and Lady Ku trembled. The monkey continued.
Tomorrow you must tell the judge that the Tang monk and his companions are innocent. If you don't, I will haunt you for the rest of your life!
Tears poured from the woman's eyes.
I will talk to the judge tomorrow. I promise. Please don't haunt me.
Wukong flew back to the courthouse. He saw the judge sitting at a desk reading some papers. Wukong flew over the roof. Then he turned into an enormous spirit body and lowered 1 foot. When the judge saw the giant foot, he gasped. The papers fell from his hands. Wukong's voice boomed.
I am the Wandering Spirit, and I was sent here by Buddha. Lady Ku lied to you. The Tang monk didn't kill Squire Ku. The monk is on an important journey. If you don't free him and his companions, I will lower my other foot. Then I will stomp all over this town until there is nothing left.
Journey to the West, Chapter 102. The prisoners are released. Lady Ku ran into the courthouse early the next morning. With tears in her eyes, she told the judge that she had lied the day before.
The Tang monk and his companions are innocent.
Lady Ku sniffed.
Please release them.
The judge nodded.
I was going to release the prisoners this morning.
He explained how the wandering spirit had visited him the night before. Lady Ku gasped.
My husband visited me last night. We must release the prisoners at once.
They hurried to the Tang monk's cell. A guard swung open the cell door.
I'm glad to be out of there,
said Wu Jing.
Me too.
Said Bajie with a yawn.
The beds were very uncomfortable.
Lady Ku bowed to the Tang monk.
I framed you for killing my husband,
she said.
Please forgive me. It was a terrible thing to do.
That's right,
shouted Wukong.
It was a really terrible thing to do.
The Tang monk put his hand on the monkey's shoulder.
Don't yell, Wukong.
He looked at Lady Ku.
We forgive you. The squire was a kind man. His death is a terrible tragedy.
Wukong rubbed his chin.
I can probably bring him back to life.
Lady Ku and the judge were shocked.
Can you really do that?
Asked Lady Ku. The Tang monk smiled.
Yes, he can. Wukong brought the king of the Black Rooster Kingdom back to life.
He turned to the monkey.
The sage Lauza helped you that time. Will you ask him for help again?
No,
said Wukong.
Lauza doesn't really like me. I'll go to the Land of Darkness and talk to the Judge of the Dead instead.
When Wukong entered the Palace of Darkness, the Judge of the Dead frowned.
Why are you here, Wukong? You already made yourself immortal by crossing out your name in the directory.
Wukong laughed.
I wondered if you would remember that. I'm looking for Squire Ku's name.
Squire Gu?
The judge opened the directory and flipped through some pages.
Ah, yes. He died 2 days ago. He now works for the Bodhisattva Dai Wen in the Jade Palace. It's here in the Land of Darkness.
Wukong went to the Jade Palace.
Greetings, son Wukong,
said the Bodhisattva.
Greetings, Bodhisattva.
The monkey bowed.
2 nights ago, a friend of mine, Squire Ku, was killed and brought here. I would like to bring him back to Earth.
The Bodhisattva raised an eyebrow.
You want him to return to life?
Yes,
said Wukong.
I'm helping the Tang monk reach the Western Paradise to fetch the true scriptures. The squire was very kind to us.
The Bodhisattva smiled.
Very well. The squire may return to Earth until it's time for him to come back here.
The Bodhisattva brought Wukong to an office. Squire Ku was sitting behind a large desk, smiling as he studied some documents. His eyes sparkled when he saw Wukong.
It's good to see you, Wukong,
said the squire.
What are you doing here?
I have good news,
said the monkey.
Your life isn't over yet. I'm taking you back to Earth.
The squire looked confused. He glanced at the Bodhisattva. The Bodhisattva nodded.
You may return to Earth. When your life is over, you'll return to your job here.
The squire came out from behind his desk and bowed.
Thank you, Bodhisattva. I am happy here, but I would love to see my wife and friends again.
Wukong moved closer to the squire.
You'll be home soon, Squire.
The monkey recited a spell, and the squire vanished. Journey to the West, Chapter 103, The Land of the West. Wukong returned from the Land of Darkness. Lady Ku brought the travelers back to her house. Inside the coffin, the squire's body was gray and lifeless. Wukong leaned over the coffin and recited a spell. Lady Ku gasped as color returned to her husband's face.
It's working,
said Wu Jing.
The squire is coming back to life,
said the Tang monk. Bajie licked his lips.
Maybe the squire will thank us with a big feast.
Squire Ku sat up and smiled.
Thank you, Wukong.
He climbed out of the coffin and turned to his wife. Tears filled her eyes. The two embraced. That night, Squire and Lady Ku held a feast to thank Wukong. And the next morning, they let the travelers leave without any argument.
Good luck,
called Lady Ku as they departed. The Tang monk and his companions traveled for many more months. Through rain and snow, heat and cold, they slowly continued west. One day, the road went into a beautiful land. There were flowers and magnificent trees. People smiled at the travelers and offered food. The Tang monk stared in amazement.
What is this place?
We are in the west,
said Wukong.
We are very close to the Western Paradise.
A woman held out a basket of plums. Bajie scooped up a handful.
I love this place!
Look up ahead,
said Wu Jing, pointing to a row of tall buildings.
It's an abbey.
The road led through a large gate in the abbey. At the gate, the monk got down from his horse. A young man greeted them.
Are you the Tang monk?
Asked the man.
Yes.
Said the monk. He waved toward the rest of the group.
And these are my companions.
You've finally arrived!
The man laughed.
I was starting to think that the Bodhisattva Guan Yin had tricked me. She told me you would arrive in a year or so. But that was over 10 years ago.
The Tang monk bowed.
Forgive me. I wanted to arrive much sooner, but we faced many dangers and delays along the way.
Bajie snorted.
And this place wasn't very easy to find either.
The man smiled.
There's no need to apologize. I'm the great immortal of the Golden Head, and this abbey is my home. Beyond it lies the Western Paradise. Come inside and rest before you continue.
Servants filled tubs with warm, perfumed water, and the travelers took baths.
It feels good to get clean,
said Bajie.
I haven't had a bath in months.
Wukong laughed.
Now we won't have to cover our noses when you're near.
Bajie snorted and splashed water at Wukong. The monkey splashed back. Everyone laughed. After their baths, the Tang monk put on the Buddhist robe Guan Yin had given him. Then the travelers enjoyed a large meal with the immortal. Servants brought trays loaded with noodles, vegetables, tofu, and steamed buns. In the morning, the immortal led the group out the back door of the abbey. The road continued west, through a land even more beautiful and magical. Birds sang as animals leaped playfully through the flowers. Brilliant light sparkled on everything. In the distance stood a huge mountain. Its peak was hidden by clouds. The Tang monk stared silently at the mountain. Wukong put his hand on the monk's shoulder.
That's the Spirit Mountain, Master. We're almost at the end of our journey.
A smile spread across the monk's face. The travelers thanked the immortal. Filled with energy now, they hurried down the road. The steep slopes of the Spirit Mountain towered over them. Journey to the West, Chapter 104, The Tang Monk and the River. Wukong and his companions walked through the Western Paradise. The road weaved through a field of flowers and toward the Spirit Mountain. Bajie looked up at the huge mountain and shook his head.
It won't be easy to climb that.
Wukong laughed.
Don't ask me to carry you.
The travelers soon arrived at a river with a strong current. Waves crashed into jagged rocks, spraying water everywhere.
This river looks dangerous,
Said Wu Jing.
but we must cross it to get to the Spirit Mountain.
Bajie sighed.
We will never be able to cross this river safely. Let's just go home.
Nonsense.
Said Wukong.
Look over there.
The monkey pointed upstream. A thin log lay across the river. It wobbled and shook as the water rushed under it. The Tang monk looked at the log.
Don't be silly, Wukong. We can't walk across that log. It's too thin, and it looks quite slippery.
But that log is the only way to reach the Spirit Mountain.
Said Wukong.
You must believe that it's safe. Watch me.
The monkey hopped onto the log and ran across the river and back.
See?
He said.
It's safe.
Bajie snorted.
You don't weigh much, Wukong. But if I step on that log, it will break.
I believe Wukong.
Said Wu Jing.
We must walk across the log.
Follow me, Master.
Said Wukong. He pulled the Tang monk toward the log. The monk trembled with fear.
Don't make me walk across that. I'll fall into the river and drown.
Let's just fly over the river.
Suggested Bajie.
We can carry Master and the horse.
No.
Insisted Wukong.
The Tang monk must make the entire journey by himself. We're here to protect him, not to carry him. Buddha won't allow Master to have the true scriptures if he doesn't take every step himself.
Just then, an old man appeared in a boat.
I can take you across the river.
Said the man.
Thank you.
Said the Tang monk. He walked to the riverbank.
My companion wanted me to walk across that log, but
The monk gasped.
there's something wrong with your boat.
He said to the man.
It has no bottom. Water is flowing right through it.
The boat is safe.
Said the man.
Please climb in. Buddha is waiting.
With a bit more hesitation, the Tang monk stepped into the boat. He was shocked to find that he didn't sink. He sat on the edge of the boat as Wu Jing led the horse aboard. Bajie and Wukong followed. The boat glided swiftly across the river. Suddenly, there was a splash. The Tang monk looked at the water and saw a body floating downstream.
Ah!
He screamed.
A man is drowned!
Wukong put his hand on the monk's shoulder and smiled.
It's you, Master.
What?
Said the monk.
Me?
Wukong is right.
Cried Bajie.
It is you.
Look again, Master.
Said Wu Jing, smiling. The Tang monk looked at the body more carefully. It was wearing the same Buddhist robe that he was wearing.
It is me.
Said the monk quietly.
But how?
You got rid of your mortal body, Master.
Said Wukong.
You're a spirit now.
You're one of us.
Bajie beamed. The boat soon reached the other riverbank, and the travelers stepped out. As they walked up the slope of the Spirit Mountain, the Tang monk laughed in amazement.
I feel so light!
He said.
I feel like I could run right up this mountain.
Good!
Said Bajie.
Perhaps you could carry me?
Everybody laughed as they continued up the mountain.